Hey, I'm Mechanical Engineer, and in today's video we'll be building a mini water fountain that you can keep fish in. So this is part 1 of 2 on how to make your own mini water fountain that you can keep fish in. Part 2 will be coming out this Tuesday, so stay tuned. Unless you're from the future, then it's already out. But for now, let's get started on part 1. Now before we begin, we're going to have to decide 2 things. First, what style of water fountain we want to build, and second, how large we want it to be. I want my water fountain to look something like this. It has one solid base that is 18 inches long, 9 inches wide, and a second story that is 6 inches long and of course 9 inches wide. This way the water can fill up the top level and then flow over into the bottom. And I haven't decided just yet how tall I want each level to be, but I'm thinking about 6 inches. So now that we have our basic dimensions figured out, I'm going to use those to cut out 2 pieces out of our 3/4 inch thick pine plywood to serve as base plates for each level. So just like on our drawing, the base for the first level is 18 inches long and 9 inches wide, and the base for the second level is 6 inches long and 9 inches wide. So now I'm going to take the same plywood board and cut into 3/4 inch square strips that are the same length we want the sides to be. 18 inches long for the long side and 9 inches long for the short. We'll worry about the second level later. Now since I want my sides to be about 6 inches tall, that means I'm going to need 8 plywood strips per side plus the base plate. With all of our parts cut out, we can now begin to construct the first level of the fountain. To do this, we'll first place a 9-inch piece at each end of the board, making sure the middle of the plywood is pointed out. Move one piece up 3/4 inch and the other piece down 3/4 inch so they stick out over the board. Then place an 18-inch piece on each side into the slots provided. Now for the second layer, we'll do the same thing, only making sure our pieces stick out on the other side. Like that. We'll now repeat this process, gluing and nailing every layer until we get it up to the height we want it to be. And as soon as this is finished, we can go ahead and repeat the process for the second story. However, we will not attach the first and second story together just yet. Next, I'm going to use a handsaw or a table saw to cut off all these extra nubs so all the sides are flush with one another. And in case you're wondering, the reason why I didn't just cut out 5 plywood sides and nail them all together is because this way looks a lot cooler. Give everything a solid sanding, and now we can stain it. And while we're waiting for that to dry, we can take a 1/2-inch PVC pipe, cut it into 2 3-inch long sections, and spray paint them both black. And with that, it is now time to start working on the internals of the fountain. First, I'm going to drill a hole at each corner of the first level's base, just big enough to fit these adjustable feet I picked up at Lowe's. And now we can flip it over and begin to put in some LEDs. We're going to want to attach the LEDs all the way around the sides, about 1 inch above the bottom. And although I am using waterproof LEDs, they don't have to be waterproof because they should never get wet. I wasn't afraid to show a little bit of love with the hot glue gun when putting in these lights, just to ensure they never come undone. Now I'm going to drill a 5/16 hole in the middle of the base plate off to one side, then feed the power wires for the LED lights through the hole. I'm also going to take 2 spare 20-inch long wires, slip 6 inches of them through the bottom hole, then hot glue them up the inside of the wall, and let what's left of the wire hang over the side. With that, it is now time to put in the liner. For a liner, I just went down to Walmart and picked up a pretty dope looking $8 shower curtain. As you can see, it's dark gray, translucent, and each little box gives you a little funhouse mirror effect. So now I'm going to go ahead and push this down into the box, taking my time to make sure the sides and bottom are as wrinkle free as possible. Once we have everything kind of figured out, we can begin to hot glue around the top edges to hold it all in place. Just like this. Now we're going to take some scissors and cut off all the plastic that's sticking up above the box. Then go around the top of it with hot glue one more time to make sure everything is glued. Now here I have a little water pump I picked up online that can put out 600 liters an hour. Link in the description. So what I'm going to do is cut the cord about 10 inches from the pump, poke the cord through the liner into the hole we drilled for the LEDs, then seal the hole back up using 100% silicone or some other fish-friendly waterproofer. Next, we can flip the whole box upside down and begin to wire everything up. First, we'll solder the electrical plug back onto the motor's cable using heat shrink tubing to cover up the joints. After that, we'll solder the negative LED wire to one of the extra wires we added in. then the positive LED wire to the other. Next, I'm going to glue on this little power button right in front of the cable. Then solder the group of positive wires to one of the leads. Just like that. Now we're going to need a 12-volt adapter like this one. You can usually find these very easily at any thrift store for just a few bucks. So now I'm going to take this adapter and solder the negative output wire to the negative LED wire, and the positive output wire to the other lead of the power button. Now, although all of our wires are covered up with heat shrink tubing, the ends of our power button are not, so I'm going to drop just a little bit of hot glue over them to help protect them. Now all that's left to do is to hot glue on a power splitter and plug in our 2 cords. This way, once the fountain is done, we can place it wherever we want. All we have to do is run an extension cord and plug it in. With that, the first level is complete, and that's actually where I'm going to end part 1. But once again, be sure to check back this Tuesday, unless you're Marty McFly, for a very exciting conclusion. But hey, thank you so much for you guys watching. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please feel free to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And Lord willing, I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, and please feel free to subscribe.